class, we were discussing something about center of buoyancy, meta-center, right? Meta-center, and at the same time we were discussing about stability of floating and submerged bodies. So in today's class, what we are going to do is we are going to solve few problems on the same. So I'll just take an object. So here it is having thickness of the object. You can see the thickness, length, and width. Okay. So now what I will do is I'll just go with the problem statement. First thing what he is saying that the object, whatever you have got, the object is dimensions are 1.5 meter, 1 meter, and then if you see in the top, you can see the length of the object. So the length of the object is 2.2 meters respectively. So he is talking about the dimension of the object. So I have got an object fluid. So he is saying that this object is completely immersed in a water or a fluid. Now, when this object is immersed in water, he is calculating the weight of the object. So he is going to measure the weight of the object. Consider it is fully filled with water. Once after dipping this one, what I do is I just measure the weight of the object by suitable equipment. So the equipment shows 2010 Newton when the object is immersed in water. This is all about the first statement. Now what he is asking us to do, he is asking us to calculate the weight of the object when the object is in atmosphere or when the object is in air. So this is what he is asking us to do, and at the same time he is also mentioning to find the specific gravity of the object. So what we are going to do is we are going to follow with the given data. We'll calculate one by one the required thing. So first of all, he has mentioned something. What he has mentioned, the dimensions. The first step is to calculate the volume of the object. Why? Because I'll tell you, when you have got an object, let me say this is the object that I've got. If I'm dipping this one inside a water, the first thing that I should remember is whatever is the volume of this particular object. If you are dipping this one in a fluid, same volume whatever you are having, this object is getting inside the water. That means that this much quantity of water has to be removed from the container in which you are going to immerse this object. So in the problem statement, he has clearly mentioned the object is immersed in water. So obviously this entire object is completely immersed in water, That means that whatever is the volume of this object that we have got, same volume of water is getting displaced. When you are dipping this object, equal volume will be displaced by the object. So for that reason, what we are going to do is we are going to first calculate what is the volume of the object that we have got. Once if we know the volume of the object that we have got, obviously when the object is completely immersed in water, so the same quantity of water will be coming outside the container. That is nothing but volume displaced by the object. For that reason, what we will do is we will just calculate what is the volume of the object. So what is the volume of the object? So if we know that length, breadth and height we know. So if we multiply all the dimensions, then we will get the volume of the object. So he has mentioned 1.5, 1 and 2.2. We don't know whether it is length, breadth and height, but he has mentioned that all the 3 dimensions. So we'll just completely multiply and we get the volume of the object. So if we multiply, it is found that 3.3 meter cube is the volume of the object. Once after finding out the volume of the object, so what he has mentioned in the problem statement is he has clearly mentioned that the weight of the object in water is nothing but 2010 Newton. We want to determine is what is the weight of the object in atmosphere. So for that, what we want to do, we want to first calculate what is the buoyant force? Archimedes principle states that the buoyant force or the magnitude of buoyant force will be equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. So first of all, in order to determine the buoyant force, what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to calculate what is the quantity of fluid that is coming out when you are immersing this particular object inside a fluid. So for that, what I do is I first calculate what is the volume of water that is getting displaced. So as we have discussed earlier, whatever is the volume of the object that we have got, if it is fully immersed, note this point, if it is fully immersed in water, then equal volume of water will be displaced out. So in this problem statement, when immersed in water, it means that it is fully immersed. So what we will do is volume of water displaced will be equal to the volume of object or volume of the body. So in this case, what we got is earlier calculation, it was found that 3.3 meter cube is the volume of the object. So obviously the same volume of water will be displaced out. That is the reason we are taking it as 3.3 meter cube. The next step, what we are going to do, we are going to calculate the weight of the fluid that is coming out. So how to calculate the weight of the fluid that is coming out? So first, once if we know the volume, so what we can do is density. What is density? Density is nothing but it is defined as the ratio of mass by volume. So if we multiply density with respect to volume, then we will get mass. So what he is asking you to determine? He is asking you to determine the weight. So if we multiply acceleration due to gravity, then we will be landing with the weight of the object. So why? Because density is nothing but mass by volume. So if you multiply volume, so you will be having only the mass. Mass into acceleration due to gravity will be nothing but it is just a weight of the water that is being displaced when immersing an object. So with this, we know that density of water, any water, in this case he has not mentioned the density, so obviously we will be taking the standard density as 1000 kg per meter cube, and acceleration due to gravity is 9.81 meters per second square, and volume of water displaced, we have calculated earlier the same 3.3. So we will be getting the weight of water displaced. So weight of water displaced is equal to 32373 Newton. So this is all about the weight of water that is displaced. Now, what he is asking you to determine, he is asking you to determine the weight of the object in atmospheric air. Or we know that when you are immersing an object in water or any fluid, so if you are calculating the weight of the object, it will be obviously less than the object weight, or the weight measured in the, it will be less than the weight that you have measured in the air. Okay, so where is the difference in weight that is going? That is nothing but it is the upward force that is applied by the fluid on the object. So we can clearly see that weight of the object in air will be equal to the buoyant force and the weight of the object in water. So in the problem statement, he has already given the weight of the object in water. So it is 2010 Newton. Now what we are going to do is we got already what is the buoyant force. What is the buoyant force? Buoyant force is nothing but weight of the water that has been displaced. That is 32373 Newton that we have already got. So the net weight of the object in atmosphere is nothing but the sum of both buoyant force and weight of the object in water. So this will be something around 34383 of the object. So what is the definition of specific gravity? Specific gravity is nothing but it is a ratio of the density or weight density. We will consider only the weight density. So it is the ratio of weight density of the given object to the standard object. We'll consider standard object as water. So standard object's density, weight density will be equal to 1000 into 9.81. Actually, we have found out the weight of the object. The weight of the object divided by the volume of the object will give me the weight density of the object. So in this case, I know the weight of the object 34383 Newton divided by the total volume. What is the total volume? It is 3.3 meter cube. So when I divide this one, weight of the object in air with the volume, so I'll be getting the weight density 10419.09 Newton per meter cube is the weight density. But actually, what he is asking you to determine, he is asking you to determine the specific gravity. So the definition of specific gravity is defined as the ratio of weight density of the given object to the weight density of the standard fluid. Okay, so here the weight density of the standard fluid is nothing but the weight density of the water. So we know that density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. So how to find out the weight density? Weight density of water is equal to 1000 into 9.81. So obviously we have already determined in the previous step the weight density of the object is 10419.09 Newton per meter cube, and at the same time we know that the weight density of water is 1000 into 9.81. So the specific gravity of the given object is the ratio of both the things, that is 10419.09 divided by 1000 into 9.81, that is equal to 1.062 is the specific gravity of the object that has been given. So this is all about the specific gravity of the object and the weight of the object that is measured in. We'll go with the discussion of the second problem. Just go through the problem statement. Find the volume of water displaced and the position of center of buoyancy for an wooden block of width 2.5 meter, depth 1.5 meter when it floats horizontally in the water. The density of wooden block is 650 kg per meter cube and its length is 6 meter. Now, when we come across the problem statement, it is very much clear that he is asking me to determine the volume of water displaced. What does it indicate? It means that when we have a wooden block of given dimension, if we throw that wooden block in water, when we are throwing the wooden block in water, so this wooden block will get into the water, some portion of the wooden block will get into the water. So obviously, when you are throwing the wooden block, some quantity of fluid will be coming outside. In this case, the fluid used here in the container or in a particular open region is water. So if we are throwing some object, say here the wooden block we are throwing of given dimension in water, when we throw the wooden block in water, some quantity of water gets outside the container. That is nothing but displaced. Water is getting displaced or fluid is getting displaced when we are throwing the object in a pool. So in the problem statement, he is asking me to determine the volume of water that is getting displaced when I throw a wooden block of given dimension. And at the same time, he is also asking me to determine the center of buoyancy. Center of buoyancy. Two things he is asking me to determine. So first one, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to first find out the position of center of gravity. So obviously, for a rectangular cross section, this total width is given as 2.5 meter. So exactly at the center of this particular width, somewhere on that particular line, we'll be having center of gravity. This, if this is 2.5 meter, exactly center is 1.25 meter. So somewhere here, if I draw a straight line, my center of gravity and the center of buoyancy will be on that particular line. So I got to know that at 1.25 from either the sides, I'll be having the location of center of gravity. But center of gravity will be exactly the center of total height. It is 1.5 meter. So obviously the center of gravity will be located exactly at 0.75 meter. Now, center of buoyancy. Where will be the location of center of buoyancy? We'll just observe the diagram clearly. We know that the object is wooden block. So what is the density of the wooden block given? The density of wooden block given is 650 kg per meter. So what is the density of water? The density of water is 1000 kg per meter. So obviously the density of wooden block is less than the density of water. So it is clearly concluded that the wooden block will always start floating on the water. So now we will observe or analyze this particular diagram. So in the problem statement, he has given me the total depth of the wooden block. He did not speak anything about the depth of immersion of the wooden block in the water. So the depth of immersion is completely unknown. That is what we are supposed to find out first of all. So let that unknown is represented by h. The value is not known. That is the reason I mentioned it as h meter. So what will I do with the given data? I know that the density of the object is given, density of the wooden block is given. So obviously what can I do? I can find out the weight of the object. So how to calculate the weight of the object? What is density? Density is nothing but mass by volume. So what is weight? Weight is nothing but mass into acceleration due to gravity will give me the weight of the object. So here I have what? Density. So with this density, I can calculate mass. How? How? In the sense, I have got length into breadth into height. So I can calculate the volume of the object. Once after calculating the volume of the object, if I multiply the density, volume into density will give me the mass of the object. Mass into acceleration due to gravity will give me the weight of the object. So first step is I will calculate the volume of the wooden block. Volume of wooden block will be equal to 2.5 into 1.5 into 6 meter. So that will be equal to 22.5 meter cube. So this is all about the volume of the wooden block that we have got. So now, as I mentioned to you earlier, weight of the object can be easily calculated with this particular density volume. Density into volume will give me the mass. Mass into acceleration due to gravity will give me the weight of the object. So 650 into 9.81 into 22.5 is nothing but the weight of the wooden block. So 143,471.25 Newton is the weight of the wooden block. Now, at equilibrium position, so whatever is the weight of the object, the equal quantity, equal weight of the fluid will be displaced by the object. If I got 5 Newton or 50 Newton of the object, so what if I consider 50 Newton as the weight of the object? So when I throw the object in water, it will displace 50 Newton of water. So that is the meaning. So I know the weight of the object as 143,471.25 Newton. So same quantity of water will come out of the container in which I have water. So the weight of water displaced is equal to 143,471.25 Newton. This is the quantity of water that has been collected when you are throwing a wooden block inside a water or water containing in a container. Now, what is the ultimate thing that we want? The ultimate thing is volume of water that is displaced. We have calculated in the previous step the weight of the water that is displaced. So, how to calculate the volume of water that is displaced? The weight of water displaced can be also written as the density of water into acceleration due to gravity into volume of water displaced. See here, we know that this is the object, total object that we have got. But if we carefully observe, the object that is completely immersed in water is only this much. That is nothing but 2.5 into 6 into h. This is nothing but the volume of water that is inside the volume of object that is inside the water. So with the previous problem, we have understood that whatever is the volume that is inside the water, the same equal volume of water will be coming outside. So that is what we are going to do. That is what we are going to consider. The weight of water displaced will be equal to the density of the water into acceleration due to gravity into volume of water that is coming outside. So volume of water that is coming outside. Okay, that is what we are. But what we want is we want volume of water that is coming outside. The weight of water displaced divided by the density into acceleration due to gravity will give me the volume of water that is displaced. What is the weight of water that is displaced? We have calculated earlier that 143,471.25 is the weight of water that is being displaced divided by the weight of the water. Weight of water is, weight density of water is 1000 into 9. Get the volume of water that is displaced. The volume of water displaced is 14.625 meter cube is the volume of water that is displaced. So we land with the solution for the first statement. Now, what is the next thing that he is asking? He is asking me to determine the position of center of buoyancy. The position of center of buoyancy can be easily calculated. How to calculate the position of center of buoyancy? So now, from the previous discussion, we have already discussed that volume of fluid displaced will be equal to the volume of wooden block immersed in water. Whatever, both will be equal. So we have got, consider here in this case, what is the volume? 14.625 meter cube is the volume displaced. So obviously, what will be the volume of the wooden log that is inside the water? The volume of wooden log that is inside the water is 14.625 meter cube. So now, with this basic concept, what we do is we will replace the volume of the object in water. So what is the volume of object inside water? 2.5 into h into 6. So h is nothing but the height or depth of the object that is inside the water. So we can clearly come to a conclusion that h is the height of immersion that was found to be 0.975 of calculation. Now, during the commencement of the problem, I have discussed how to calculate this position of center of buoyancy. Center of buoyancy, in this case, it is a rectangular object. So the object, if you observe the profile that is inside the fluid, it is a rectangular object. Now, the position of the center of buoyancy will be calculated in this way, that is middle of this particular dimension. What is this dimension? 2.5. So what will be the exact half? It is 1.25. So if you construct a straight line, so this center of gravity and center of buoyancy will be lying on the straight midline only. But for the center of buoyancy, we are supposed to consider only the region which is immersed in water. So that is H. So what is the position? The position center of buoyancy will be exactly at the middle of the height h, that is h divided by 2. So obviously the value of depth of immersion is found to be 0.975 meter. So obviously the position of center of buoyancy will be exactly in the middle of this particular value, that is 0.4875 meters from the bottom of the wooden log. We'll see what is the statement. The wooden log of 0.6 meter diameter and length 5 meter is floating in the river water. Find the depth of the wooden log in the water when the specific gravity of the wooden log is given as 0.7. If we go through the problem statement, it is very clear that the dimension of the object is given. What is the dimension of the object? So here, the object is mentioned as cylindrical object. See, he is mentioned the diameter of the object as 6.6 meter and the length of the object is 5 meter. So he is saying that the object is floating on the top of a river. So the water that is flowing is water or a fluid that we are going to consider is river water. So now the one more important component that he has mentioned in the problem statement is the specific gravity of wooden log. The specific gravity of wooden log is given as 0.7. So now what we can do is we can, with the given data, we can calculate the volume of the object, and at the same time we can calculate the density of the log. We know for a circular cross section area, the area calculation is very simple. It is pi by 4 into d square. So when we are talking about volume, area of cross section into length of the object will give me the volume of the object. So first step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate the volume. Volume is nothing but pi by 4 d square into 5. But at the same time, he has given me the specific gravity. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate the density of the wooden log. So what is density of wooden log? We know specific gravity is given as 0.7. The definition of specific gravity is nothing but the ratio of density of given fluid or object to the density of standard fluid or object. So now here the density of standard fluid is given as 1000 kg per meter. With this, we came to a conclusion that the density of the wooden log is 0.7 into 1000. It is equal to 700 kg per meter. With this density, we can calculate the weight density by simply multiplying 9.81, that is acceleration due to gravity. We can calculate the weight density. That is 700 into 9.81 will give me 6867 Newton per meter cube. Weight of wooden log will be equal to weight density into volume of wooden log. So weight of wooden log, we know we are supposed to calculate weight of wooden log, but weight density of wooden log is calculated in the earlier step. That is, weight density of wooden log is something equal to 6867 Newton per meter cube, and into the volume of the wooden log. How to calculate the volume of wooden log? Volume of wooden log, we know that it is a circular element. Pi by 4 d square will give me the area of cross section, and if we multiply the length, will get me the total volume. So pi by 4 into d square into 5. 5 is the length of the cylindrical element or length of the wooden log. So the total weight of wooden log was found to be 9707.976 Newton. At equilibrium, the weight of wooden log will be equal to the weight of water. has been displaced. But weight of water displaced can be also written as mass density of water into acceleration due to gravity into volume of water that is displaced. It is just the same formula that we have used or same concept that we have used for solving the previous problem. So now what we want is we want volume of water that has been displaced. But previously we have calculated the weight of wooden log. Weight of volume of water displaced will be equal to the weight of water displaced divided by mass density of water into acceleration due to gravity. 9707.976 divided by density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube into 9.81. That will give me the total volume of water that has been displaced. The total volume of water that is displaced is equal to 0.9896 meter cube. So this much will be the volume of water that has been displaced when you are throwing a wooden log of given geometry. Now, what he is asking me to determine, he is asking me to determine the total depth of immersion of the wooden log. So how to find out the total depth of wooden log? First of all, for that, what we will do is we will determine the volume of the log that is immersed in water. So if we determine the volume of log, then automatically we can find out the height. Volume of log will be represented as, we will see the geometry. So we'll just check the geometry and write the equation for volume of wooden log. What is the volume of wooden log that is inside the water? If you observe the geometry, you see A, R, A, D, C, and A. So this is the total area. We are seeing the cross section. That is the reason it becomes area of cross section. This is the total area that is inside the water. And if we multiply it with the length of the wooden log, then we will get the volume of wooden log that is inside the water. So now that is the reason what we do is area of arc ADCA into length of the log. That will give me the total volume of log that is immersed in water. Now what we want to find out volume of water that has been displaced. We want the height. We want height. What we will do is we will equate the both the things. Volume of log that is immersed in water will be equal to the volume of water that is being displaced. So now if you observe, this is the volume that is immersed in water. So obviously if this is an object, so if there is no object, then this will be completely filled with water. Equivalent volume will be gone outside, then only this wooden log will be placed inside the water. So it means that volume ADCA into 6 will be equal to the volume of water that has been displaced. But we have calculated what is the volume of water that has been displaced. That is equal to 0.9896 meter cube. So now what we are going to do is we are going to mention the same thing. That is 0.9896 meter cube. That will be equal to area of arc ADCA into length of log. So area of arc ADCA will be equal to 0.9896 divided by the length of log. So what is the length of log? Length of log is 5 meter. So with this, we can calculate what is the total area of this particular arc ADCA. So once after calculating the area of arc, what is the next step? The next step is to rewrite this area of arc in a definite known form. See, if you observe, see, it is neither a full complete circle nor a triangle. It is a combination of both. See here, it is a partially it is a circle and partially it is a triangle. If you observe this one, arc ADCOA represents a part of circle, and AOC, it is a triangle. So now what I will do is the arc, whatever I have got, the arc that I will split it into two parts, one with respect to circle and the other one part of circle and the other one with respect to a triangle. So I will rewrite this entire area in this way. So what is the formula for calculating the area of cross section of a circle? So pi r square. So now, do we have a full complete circle? No, we don't have a full complete circle. So if we observe this particular diagram carefully, what is the angle that is fully completely a circle? The totally, if we are considering the total, if we consider 360 degrees is the angle of a circle, but is it fully a circle? No. Some portion it is not a circle. So what I will do is I'll convert it into fraction of circle. Pi r square into 360 is the total angle, but we don't have total angle. Instead, we have 360 minus 2 times of theta. Minus 2 times of theta divided by 360 degrees. So we are converting it in terms of fraction of a circle plus. Usually, if you just draw a normal from point O to the side AC, so it will be dividing the entire triangle, whatever we have got, into two equal parts. That is, this left side part and right side part, which are same or similar type of triangle or same triangles. Okay. So obviously, what will happen? It will be a formation of two right angle triangles. One is on left hand side and the other one is on the right hand side, which are equal in dimensions. So OA is R and OC is R. So what we will do is we will consider any one of the triangle so that it becomes easy for me. So if we are dividing this particular arc, 2 theta divided by 2, it becomes theta. So it becomes a right angle triangle. We will apply sine. What is sine theta? Sine theta is nothing but opposite side by hypotenuse. But what is opposite side? Opposite side is nothing but base of the triangle. And what is hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is the radius of the triangle, radius of the circle. So now what we want is we want opposite side, because opposite side dimension is not known. For that reason, what we will do is we will calculate the opposite side. Sine theta is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. So what we want is base of the triangle we want. So obviously what will happen? R sine theta becomes the base of the triangle. Similarly, we want height of the triangle. For what reason we are calculating base and height of the triangle? We know area of triangle is equal to half into base into height. So for that reason, what we are doing is we are going to calculate the base of the triangle and height of the triangle. Dimensions of base and height of the triangle. So height of the triangle, if we take this as theta, adjacent side divided by hypotenuse will give me the cos theta. Cos theta is equal to adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. But what we want? We want height of the triangle. Height of the triangle is equal to r into cos theta. So what I will do is, I know that area of triangle is of base into height. But how many triangles that are formed? How many right angle triangles are formed here? Here I have got two right angle triangles. One is on left side and the other one is on right side. So if you observe the equation, pi r square into 360 minus theta divided by 360 is nothing but the area of the circular region, that is ADCOA, and similarly area of triangle is half into base into height. Half into base is sine theta into r, height is cos theta into r. Now we have got two triangles. That is the reason we have multiplied 2 in this particular equation. So at the same time, what we know is area of arc ADCA is equal to 0.19792 meters square. So this is the total area of the arc that I'm going to substitute here in this equation. I know the radius also. What is the radius? The total diameter is given as 0.5 meter. So I will substitute all in this equation and calculate what is the value of theta. So now here, if I substitute, I'll substitute all in this equation and I'll calculate what is the value of theta by the method of interpolation. So here I get an equation. In this equation, I randomly substitute the value of theta starting from 60 degree. So what is the equation? The end right hand side should be equal to 0. I gradually check with the value starting from the theta value starting from 60 degree. If I start from 60 degree, if I find wherever the value is going to match almost equal to 0, that point of time I will be stopping. On the interpolation process, I get the value as 71.5 degree, where my right hand side is almost equal to 0, something around 0.23 something, the value I'm going to get. So I'm going to fix the value as 71.5 degree as the value of theta. Now, what I do is I'll substitute for h. What is h? What is h? H is nothing but height. If you see this as the total height, what is the height that I can rewrite? I can rewrite it as height of the triangle plus the radius of the log. The radius of the log is 0.25 meter plus what is the height of the triangle? The height of the triangle, from the previous discussion, it is clear that r cos theta. So r plus r cos theta, that is equal to 0.3 plus 0.3 into cos 71.5. That I will get the height of the object as something around 0.395